What is before us is a president who is living the rule of law. He is living it in in the most personal way. He is not pardoning his son.
Second one, would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. Will he pardon his son? No.
Many months later.
This is an ABC News special report.
President Biden has just pardoned his son Hunter on gun and tax charges that he was facing.
Huh? What? Oh. Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. It's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And today we have Joe Biden doing what he said he wouldn't do many times, pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. It's really not a surprise, though. And to me, I'm going to have a kind of a different take than a lot of people, I think. I think this continues the Joe Biden revenge tour. The Joe Biden revenge tour, which included, in my opinion, him undermining Kamala Harris every chance he got while she was campaigning, and he actually went out to campaign for her. And him also, I think, voting for Donald Trump. And now the final nail in the coffin for the Democrats, who Joe Biden feels betrayed him, because they did, is to basically give this political gift to Donald Trump and the Republicans to now forever remove the cudgel of no one is above the law, that Donald Trump is a liar, to say that Donald Trump is the one who benefits from being an elite, that he gets away with these things because he's an elite. All gone now. They could say it all they want. Whatever little bit of credibility that had is now forever eradicated, gone, obliterated. Joe Biden has smashed it to smithereens. And that's another part of the win for Joe Biden here. Joe Biden wants to sink the Democrat Party because he knows the party sunk him. So it's a win, win, win for Joe Biden. Joe Biden gets to pardon his son. Joe Biden gave him a 10-year blanket pardon. Who even knows if that's legal, what he did? But that's what he did. He gave him a 10-year blanket pardon going all the way back to 2014, which means that basically, Joe Biden didn't pick 2014 out of a hat. 2014 starts where Hunter Biden got involved with getting paid from Burisma and all these Ukraine dealings and all the, 10% of the big guy. That's where that all began. So Joe Biden, in a sense, has pardoned himself. Because now, is anybody really going to try to prosecute Hunter Biden for anything going back to 2014? Probably not, because this will be tied up in the courts forever. Joe Biden will be long gone off the planet before any of this ever reached the courtroom. Joe Biden, win right there. Final win. Joe Biden just hamstrung the Democrat Party, and he gave Donald Trump a political gift. So let's get into a couple of things here. We're going to see CNN. And we're going to see Scott Jennings, and we'll comment on it along the way. And it just never stops. I mean, we are going to miss Donald Trump when he is out of politics because it's something every day. Without Donald Trump, none of this happens. None of this. We don't even know about any of this stuff if Donald Trump doesn't get involved in politics in 2016. So without further ado, let's go.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law, and no person is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one's above the law.
No one is above the law.
Like I said, the gift he handled Donald Trump, this cudgel, and I love the word cudgel, but it is now removed. Joe Biden took it right out of their hands. They can say it all they want now, but now even people who aren't hyper tuned in, they're going to say, wait a minute. You see what your guy just did? You see what your guy did? So it's forever removed. And I know Joe Biden's senile, but I don't think that Joe Biden is that bad. He knows what he's doing here.
No man is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
He has to be held accountable. He's not above the law.
No one's above the law. Either that nor any other title puts you above the rule of law.
No one is truly above the law.
That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is what it means to not have a king.
They're not above the law. Nobody is above the law.
Everyone will be treated, as Merrick Garland has said, as equally.
Well, that no one is above the law, which is foundational.
No one is above the law, even a former president.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
No one is above the law.
The law is the law, and no one should be above it.
Yes, nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one else is above the law, including a president.
Nobody is above the law. You can't have two justice systems in America. It has to be one justice system. And anybody who breaks the law should be held accountable.
And that no one is above the law.
No one is above the law, and our president is not above the law.
I always thought that this country, that no one was above the law.
So they had that little monologue going on about no one is above the law. I mean, they say it all the time. Like I said, that has been removed now. They all look like the fools that they are, and it is because of Joe Biden. And don't think for a second, please, that Joe Biden doesn't know that. He does. Joe Biden is angry. He is bitter. They took it away from him. Even though he really didn't have a chance, and we all know it, he did not want to leave. And you know who didn't want him to leave even more? His wife. And if you don't think that Joe Biden is pulling those strings on Joe and saying, Joe, this is how you get them back, I don't think you're paying attention. This is just how I see it. Tell me in the comments if you disagree. Let's keep going.
What are you learning?
Look, we are just getting a statement from President Joe Biden. He's saying that today he signed a pardon for my son Hunter, and he goes through the reasoning why. Of course, Hunter is facing a sentencing later this month, but this is really a monumental moment for President Biden. He said several months ago in June, when he was still seeking a re-election, that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, but now we are learning he is.
He said it several times.
And let's just read through this statement quickly together. He said, today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. So this is a fairly...
So Joe Biden saying right there, his son was targeted. Now, he's also given Donald Trump credibility now on saying the justice system targets people unfairly because of their name, because of their stature, because of who they are. Joe Biden, his statement just validated everything Donald Trump has been saying, and everybody that and everybody has been calling him a conspiracy theorist because of it. Joe Biden just smashed that one to smithereens too.
A long statement about 4 or 5 paragraphs from President Biden, but really going through why he is making this decision. He also goes on to say this. He said, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out because he is my son, and that is wrong. He goes on to say there's been an effort to break.
Has everything to do with Trump's cases. If it wasn't for his name wasn't Donald Trump, the whole 34 felony nonsense, those charges never would have been brought by any prosecutor to anyone ever, because they know they were garbage.
Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. So, of course, Jessica, let's take a step back. You obviously covered the Biden campaign along with me, and this is something that Hunter Biden has been dealing with. This was a tax case, a gun case. He went through his trial in Delaware. There was another case in Los Angeles. But this is really the culmination of President Biden really making the decision tonight to sign a pardon for his son Hunter, not just a commutation of a possible sentence, but a pardon, which certainly will be part of President Biden's legacy going forward.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Here's my question. They always want to bring in the fact that Hunter Biden is a drug problem and he's a recovering addict. So I guess everybody who has a drug problem or is a recovering addict that committed a crime during the time that they were under the influence, they should be pardoned. Should they not? Or is that only for people with the last name Biden? Good question, isn't it?
As I'm reading this along with you, Jeff, I think one part at the very end is particularly striking, which is where he says, I have followed a simple principle, just tell the American people the truth, they'll be fair-minded. And here's the truth.
I'll tell them the truth after I lied to them for the past how many months saying I wasn't going to do this.
I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice.
Again, Donald Trump, how many times he said politics it's political warfare? How many times?
And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. It is interesting to also hear him saying, essentially, that the justice system was politicized, which is something we've heard from Republicans and Donald Trump as well.
Bingo.
We certainly have, and important to note that President Biden spent really the weekend with his son Hunter and the rest of the family in Nantucket, where they always do for Thanksgiving. And this is a striking, really, ending to this Thanksgiving holiday. And with this statement from the White House we're seeing tonight, it is a official document calling for a full and unconditional pardon for all crimes and punishments facing Robert Hunter Biden. So, but Jessica, the sentence that you read is so poignant. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. We will see, of course.
Don't you also love the kid gloves that, he's getting from CNN here? Oh, it's so poignant. It's so this, it's so that. If this was a Republican, forget Donald Trump. If this was any Republican that did this, same circumstances, same everything, switch the D to an R, they would be crucifying whoever that Republican was. It could be the most milquetoast rhino on the planet, and they would be getting absolutely buried by the media for this. I mean, all of them would just be crushing him. They would be calling for his impeachment. They probably would be calling for his arrest for treason. I'm not exaggerating. Think about it.
In the coming weeks and months and years, if Americans do understand that, but there is no doubt that this is part of the legacy of President Biden's one term in office. Certainly something he did not want. He hoped to run for re-election. He obviously stepped away from that months ago. But clearly there was pressure inside the family. We were told really in recent weeks that Dr. Jill Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, was very supportive of the president doing something like this. The president was not sure. But we clearly have seen now he has come to this decision to pardon his son Hunter.
So there you go. Just like I said, Jill Biden was supportive of it. Jill Biden is pulling all the strings. Jill Biden you want to talk about it's Joe's revenge tour? I should have put Jill's revenge tour because it's Jill's revenge tour. She is the one who is getting back at the people she thinks ruined her husband's legacy and everything. He doesn't care about his legacy. He wants his legacy to be, I destroyed the Democrat Party. I destroyed the people who destroyed me. That's what he wants to be his legacy. So now we're going to hear Scott Jennings, who was on CNN last night, and Scott Jennings sums it up pretty well as to the gift that Joe Biden has handled Donald Trump and the Republicans. A forever gift.
Leaving office, making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party.
Intentional failure, in my opinion, at this point.
And the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly.
Is that nervous laughter from Karen? Because he's going to get away with it, too. It is the biggest cover-up of all time, and he's going to get away with it now.
When it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar, and there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden.
And there you go. Pretty well summed up there by Scott Jennings, who's usually pretty good. So I think this is, like I said, the win-win-win for Joe Biden. That's what this is. This is maybe it's not, but right now it looks like the final nail in the coffin on Joe Biden's revenge tour and Jill Biden's revenge tour on the Democrat Party. That's what we're seeing. Because they, like I said, they can scream and they can scream from the rooftops now about Trump is this and Trump's no one's above the law and Trump thinks he's above the law and everything else. Trump now has carte blanche to pardon anybody he wants. Everybody from January 6th who he sees fit now to pardon or commute their sentence, he can do now. They can, cry and whine and do whatever they want. Guess what? You've just lost the cudgel. You lost it. Joe Biden took it from you. He took it from you, and he's laughing He's laughing all the way into his final years. That's what Joe Biden's doing at this point. And Jill Biden, she'll probably be around a lot longer than him, and she's going to enjoy it because they are bitter and they are mad, and they have every right to be. Of course, I'm no fan of Joe Biden. I think he's a horrible human being. But what they did to him, they did him dirty. They did him dirty. And guess what? He's not going to take it lying down. Joe Biden is a nasty SOB. He always has been. And now they're getting the bad end of it now from him. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I'm way off here? I don't think I'm off. I think I'm right on it. That's what I think. I've been saying the whole time that Joe Biden. I was saying it way back that Joe Biden wanted Donald Trump to win this election. So this tracks. This tracks with everything we've seen from Joe Biden from the time that they kicked him out the door to now. So tell me what you guys think. I just think it's just, like I said, we're going to miss Trump because all this stuff is because of Trump. This whole Washington being turned upside down is because Trump has exposed all of it. He's just his presence now at this point exposes all of it. How many people do you know who weren't tuned into politics at all before 2016, 2017, and now are tuned in? Even if they're not hyper tuned in like I am and people who watch this type of content are. Even if they're not hyper tuned in, they're tuned in a little bit now. And that wasn't like that before Trump. So whenever Trump leaves politics forever, hopefully he has a great 4 years as president, and then he steps off into the sunset, and then he's the Barack Obama of the Republican Party, where he's the go-to guy. You know, we're going to miss him, though. We are going to miss him. He will be missed. And you know what's going to, like I always say, the people that are going to miss Trump most of all are the people that hate him the most. You'll see. So anyway, follow me on TikTok. It's @OpinionsVary there. Follow me on X, @OpinionsVary there. And always, of course, come to YouTube and see me here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Continue following me here at Opinions Vary.